Hey, welcome to another one of our expert series interviews, Move, Shake and Jolt. I'm Richard Tyler, speaker, author, and also known as the Possibility Architect. Today, I am extraordinarily lucky to have sat next to me on the sofa the man, Mr. Simon Jordan. Nothing to do with Crystal Palace, for those of you that have tuned in especially. Not going to ask him any football questions. We're going to ask him questions on loads of other stuff, though. So, he's a genius in so many ways. He wouldn't admit it. But he's the host of Simon Jordan TV. He's the founder of One Planet, One Place. I'm going to ask him loads of questions about that. He is a true jolter. He is a marketing guru, marketing coach. He knows about branding. He's worked for some of the biggest brands we know on this planet. Now he runs, lives on, nurtures an organic farm out in Normandy. He's transformed his life in so many ways, upgraded his life. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about upgrades, about the ways in which we are jolted in our life and how we deal with that, but also how we go around jolting others, jolting the planet, making a difference, upgrading, elevating, disrupting. This man's a disruptor, and he can tell you more about that. And welcome to Mr. Simon Jordan.
Thank you very much. What do you mean disruptor? I'm an annoying little sod. I'm getting people's
You
ways.
said that.
Yes, I did.
I wouldn't say anything.
No. Oh, I swore. I swear.
That's the first one.
That's
strike.
the one, yes.
One strike. Five strikes.
5 strike.
And thanks for coming over. You kind of...
My pleasure.
I'm going to make a big thing about that. This man has flown in from halfway across...
Drove.
Oh, yeah.
My bum is still sorting itself out from then. No, well, no. So
I'm dramatic to say flown.
That would have been a lot. Yeah, okay, flew in.
Flew him in from halfway across the channel.
Well, no, I didn't start the channel. I got very well.
Okay, fair point. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. Very good. Pleasure to be here.
How was your funny hotel?
Yes, when we're filming this, we're in July. So it's very, very hot. I've never been in a hotel where they keep the radiators on in July. So it's interesting, that.
It's London.
It is London, yeah. You're not hot enough, so we'll put you on the 3rd floor.
They're disrupting, they're jolting, they're shaking it up.
Yeah,
They haven't turned off in the winter.
Yes, I think that's pretty right.
Thank you for joining me.
No.
Brilliant. So I got a whole load of stuff to ask you, and
fire away.
This is about my curiosity, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and this is also for the people that are watching this, for their curiosity and understanding and insight, because what we want to really tap into is, what's the difference between those characters that do ordinary, tick the boxes, have a good life, make some stuff happen, and those that do extraordinary things, those that shake it up, that are the disruptors, that are the provokers, that are the ones that are out there making an even bigger difference. And you are one of those, whether you admit it or not. You are one of those.
I am, yeah. To my detriment sometimes. It's funny enough, I saw an advert on Facebook the other day, and it said, entrepreneur school, how to teach you to be an entrepreneur. I thought, I don't think you can be taught. It's something, for me, it's something that's inbred into you. You're the kind of kid who is told off a lot because you're playing with stuff. You want to find out what's going on. You know, what does this do? Does this sofa come down? You want to pull things apart. You are a disruptor. And I don't think you can be taught that. It's something that's either in you or it's not. Yes, you can be taught how to set up a business, but coming up with the idea, that spark, I think that's where it lies. It's in you. And we don't, if we were all entrepreneurs, if we're all disruptors, then nothing would ever get done. Because we're all, what's that shiny? We're all, can be a bit all over the place. But that's what it is for me. It's about looking at something and thinking, oh, let's see if we do it another way. What is it like in different colour? Let's prod it. Let's poke it. Let's have a look. And from that we can, pull ideas apart. My partner's children, I've got 3 step-kids. August is the youngest boy. He's 6, and he is one heck of a disruptor. And it's amazing because he will ask questions. He wants to do stuff, and you can see his brain working. And when he finally comes out in the world, he will be like another Richard Branson, I imagine. He'll want to do stuff, and he will make a massive impact. As will the other kids as well, but him especially. He started at 6. His questions, it's just phenomenal. And you think, that kid's going to go somewhere.
Were you like that as a child?
Yeah, I was an annoying little bugger. Yes, I was. It was just like, what are you doing? I just pull things apart, and I wanted to see what was going on, how it worked, and play with stuff, and So yeah, I think it was.
And there's something in there about, some people will have a natural leaning towards it. Some people, it's their thing because that was their spirit when they grew up and they transfer it into business. And I guess there is the piece, and maybe I'll be able to unpick this as we go through, about those that don't naturally have it. Actually, if we're still wanting people in any business, whatever their role, wherever they sit in an organisation, to think about how can they, in their own little space, be the one that is still being creative, being innovative, pushing at the edges, being prepared at least to make upgrades, because you know as well as I do, we are in this space where we can't just deliver the same old. And I think there were those days, all right, where we could get away with what we delivered last week. We can pretty much deliver again this week, but we're not in that space anymore. And I think there are lots of people in businesses that aren't the chief exec or a board or aren't tasked with innovation that actually still need to be innovative.
Exactly, there are. I was the creative director of an ad agency for 3 years, and I was brought in, and it was to run this big account. It was a property marketing company, and I was brought in, headhunted. I'd sold my previous company, it was a design company. Brought in, and I thought, right, I like again being disruptive. Right, let's do this, let's do that, and I was coming up with campaigns. We were connecting with new businesses, this kind of stuff. But my boss was not a disruptor. Weird to see my boss because it was a long time ago, and it came down to it that he was just happy just to be with one client and just do that. And that was it. And consequently, we ended up losing a lot of business and the company actually went bust. But I was there to do that. And what I found was sometimes you might be a disruptor, but you are the round peg in a square hole. But if the people above you don't empower you, they don't allow you to be a disruptor, they don't allow you to do stuff, it's not going to benefit. You'll end up, you have to go on your own. Or find a company who are willing to join you on that path of disruption, of jolting. But sometimes it just doesn't work. And it can be a painful experience. Yeah, at the time I had 2 young kids and the company went bust. I was like, I'm out my own. But actually it was the best thing that could have happened. So again, in that thinking, you think it's just that entrepreneurial spirit, I suppose. I could start, no problem, I'll do it, So, but sometimes it is difficult in a company. You just, if the hierarchy aren't with you, sometimes people lose their entrepreneurial spirit. Sometimes people lose that jolt. That they just they slip in. It just becomes comfortable. I always say, look at your life. If you're not happy with elements of it, what are you doing to change that? What are you jolting within your own life? If every night you're coming home, sitting on the sofa, watching TV, drinking beer, and you think, oh, you know what? I want to be fitter. I want to have more energy. Well, let's look at what you're doing. And it's if you're banging your head against a wall and going, I really wish I didn't have a headache. Well, don't bang your head against a brick wall. It's an obvious statement, but sometimes you just need to get uncomfortable. Sometimes we can get too comfortable, get uncomfortable. I mean, April and I just moved to France, as you were saying at the beginning, and that's a huge jolt. I mean, I've never done organic farming before. We've never done organic brewing. I've never run an animal sanctuary. I'm still running my own business. April's still doing hers as well. And it's like, okay, let's learn. I'm surprised I've got my fingernails in my hair left. But it's what an adventure. And life for me is an adventure. That's my metaphor. Who ever heard of sliding up a mountain? You don't. So
tell me a bit about. So what I'm really curious to hear about is, so in all your time on this planet, what's been the most momentous jolt so far? The bit that you think you've pushed out there that has not only jolted your own life, but jolted the lives of those around you?
For me, it's actually there's 2 episodes. When I was in my late 20s, I was heading down. I came from it was a great family, but I was an abused child, and I'd sort of hid it away. You hide the pain, you hide the feelings away. And then in my late 20s, but I heard something on Radio 4. I have to talk about this on stage, and I say, yes, I was 28 and listening to Radio 4. I know that's not normal. You have to be in your 40s like I am now to be listening to Radio 4 and Woman's House. Anyway, I was thinking about abuse and stuff, and it just sort of went, oh my God, that was me. I went through that. And it suddenly the lid didn't just pop open off Pandora's box. It was like, blew out. And then my life just went like that. I was always very fit, very keen on cycling and stuff like that, but I just ballooned and went up to 23 stone. Or 322 pounds if anyone in America is listening to this. Because I go, 23 stone, what's that? And so I drink, drug, I say, listen.
How tall are you?
6'2". I say, I can stand in the shower. There were parts of me that wouldn't get wet. So figure that out for yourself. So I decided to...
tough image for some
people. It is a tough image when it's time in the morning.
Blimey.
So I just, I was just going downhill, drinking, eating. King-size Mars bars had come out at that time. I was like, oh, fantastic. You can get fatter on just one bar. So I was doing all this, heading, downhill, just, again, feeding the pain, or rather feeding myself to stop the pain, blah, blah, blah. And then my partner at the time said, you need to go and see the doctor. So I went to the doctor and they went, you're depressed, have a tablet. I'm thinking, what a load of bull that is. I'm already on tablets, just happen to be illegal ones. This is a crock. So it was that moment. I always say a decision is made in that instant. It's in that moment. And I got angry, not the doctor. I just obviously left the surgery by then. I thought, this is what can I do? I've got to do something in my own life. It's about taking back control. Can't rely on other people because, you can read the diet books, you can do all that. You can buy everything out there, but you have got to take responsibility. So I did that. And then gave up drink, drugs. I was never addicted to it. I was just doing it to hide the pain. So in 18 months, I'd gone down to 13 stone, 182 pounds. And finished the London Marathon in 3 hours 45.
Wow.
So, and I tell this story on stage, actually. I did it in America. And I said my first race, it was a 10K race. It was the Carlton 10K, around Hyde Park, I think. And I said it really wasn't that good. I was really out bad. And I finished with a fag. And they went, you finished with a fag? What's the matter? Oh no, a cigarette. I meant a cigarette. Sorry. I meant a cigarette. I was like, this guy's weird. Sorry, it's what we call a cigarette in the UK. Sorry. Anyway, so that was, that's a disruption to the audience. So, and just from there I thought, well, what did I do? What was my mindset? And I was just fascinated by it. So I went to see Anthony Robbins, did the fire walk 3 times, in fact, twice on one night, which I thought, big cocky little sod and do it. I know, just silly. The hardest thing was actually walking around the car park barefoot in November. That's far more painful than walking across the hot coals.
Doesn't sound such a cool event, does it?
No, it doesn't, no. Well, they get you to take your shoes off in the arena and then walk all the way around it. So I think your feet are so knackered by the time walking across hot coals. It's okay. But I did all that and I was fascinated by, well, how can you do this? How can you learn? I was fascinated by diet and stuff like that. I've now become a vegan because I had an aneurysm years ago and I just thought I've just got to clean my body up. And so that for me was the biggest job for me, to do that. And having told my story, in fact, when I used to stand on stage, I used to talk about business and marketing and branding. I used to think, God, even I'm getting a bit bored of this. I'm passionate about it. I love it. But a friend of mine said, why don't you tell your story? Really? Do people really want to know my story? So I remember standing on stage the first time and started to talk about my story. And I start off by talking about this parachute jump I'm doing. I'm standing on this metal strip. I'm looking out. We're travelling at 180 miles an hour. And people thinking, what? It immediately jolts them out of their texting or tweeting or whatever, looking at you on the stage. And I'm just explaining this experience about jumping out of the plane and all this kind of stuff. And then I bring it round to the guy I did it with. I taught him the confidence to do it. And he said, I'm so glad I did that. And I'll then turn it around and say, so many people say, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done this. I should have done that. Rather than, I'm so glad I did. And then I go into my story about losing all the weight and having that jolt. And that started to make a huge difference. I remember seeing this guy. He was like a big rugby player. He was in tears at the back of the room. And him hugging his friend. And he came up to me after saying, you've really made me snap out of my thinking and look at my world differently. And I said, oh my God, wow. And I love the line, I can't remember who said it, true success is knowing that someone else has breathed more easily because you've been there. And I think if you can make a success, people say, oh, fast car, who cares? Big house, who cares? Whatever. If you can make a difference to someone else on the planet, after you've gone, what are they going to remember you by? That he had a great car? No. Did he make a difference on the planet? Did she make a difference on the planet? What's that ripple effect you can do? So from that, this is my 7th year in my own business now, my own consultancy. 2nd year, I set up SimonJordan.tv, which you mentioned, and I was doing all this stuff to promote me, promote the brand. It was great. I was getting speaking gigs in the States and all this kind of stuff. But I thought it was very much ego-based. I had Simon Jordan Radio, Simon Jordan Blog, SimonJordan.tv. I thought, it's all me. And I thought I wanted to change that. And because the people I was interviewing for the radio show, it was their backstory, which was really, really amazing to me. And it wasn't about the success and the fame they'd had. It was the stuff before that. It was the catalyst, that was the jolting that was making them do that. So I thought, right, I can do something with this. And I was out climbing, I think, one day. I love climbing. And I came up, this thing springs to mind. It said, don't think of the world as separated by countries. Think of the world as separated by ignorance. One planet, one place. We're all on one planet. We're all in one place. Why can't we just get on? So I launched One Planet, One Place. First month, we had 22,500 visitors. Second month, number one in Google, at 1.3 billion sites, even above the One Planet BBC show. And yeah, it's just from there, and it's there to inspire change. And I've interviewed you on there, and it's my philanthropic gift to the world. People say, "Oh, are you going to monetize it?" Not really. No, it's just there to make a difference. And I've had so many comments from people who've emailed me and left me voicemails, because you can leave a voicemail on the site, saying, "Thank you. It's just, what you've done, the interviews you've shared, amazing." That's, for me, it's just doing my little bit, and I think we can all do a bit. It only takes one person to make a difference. So those are my two jobs.
And that ripple effect does go viral, doesn't it? So quickly. So it's the same way. We put the crappy stuff out there and that goes viral too. We put the good stuff out there and that goes viral. Yeah,
but I think do everything from a place of love. I'm all about love, and I'm getting older. The longer my hair is, the more I'm starting to wear sandals. I think becoming hippie, but it's important. So where were we? Yeah, so that was my job.
So already you started to touch on this idea of, how you wanted to understand how other people were thinking, and you got more understanding of your own thinking. And I talk in Jolt and demonstrate this idea of performance map, and how often in life we put so much emphasis on just behaviour change or skill adaptation or skill upgrade, and actually the real leverage piece comes about when we start to change the story, and we change our thinking, and we shift our attitude, and we shift our mood, and we realign the value set. Each day for you, you get up and you fill your life with jolts, and the ones you take on and the ones you push out.
Yeah.
What would you say is the thinking that drives you each day? What's the value set that all aligns?
It is my vision for what I want for my family. It's my focus, really. I just have dreams. Some are loose dreams, but I just think I want to. For me, if the audience knows anything about 6 basic human needs, my top ones, I won't go into it now because I forget most of them, is contribution and love. If I feel loved, I can take on the world, and it's about contribution. So I love connecting, and nothing inspires me more than connecting with people, making a difference. So I'm coaching my clients, helping them build their brand, build their marketing. I'm making a difference to them. I'm understanding what it is they do, because all my clients are heart-centered. They're coming from a place of love, and they want to make a difference. So for me, I just love doing that, and doing more of it, and just loving it, and loving the results that my clients are getting. So, and that helps me get what else I want in life, with what we're doing with the farm and everything else. It all comes through. It's not about I want to earn this amount of money, I want to buy that. It's just about I want to do as much good, and the rest of this just comes naturally. It's all about being in the flow. It's about the energy, being in the right space, being in the right mental space, all of that. And the more, I would say, the more love you give out, the more love you get back.
But there's been times, though, right, where you were driven by money, driven by
yes, there was
outcomes, deliverables, things, stuff.
Yep, and it was not as enjoyable. To be really honest, it wasn't. I've earned a lot of money. I had my companies before, but it was a lot of pain involved. There was a lot of just working silly hours. I had a nervous breakdown. There was one summer, with myself and my business partner, we were working with BBC, ICI, we were doing a stand in Paris, we used a lot, it was a design company. I was taking Pro Plus during the day and Nitol at night to go to sleep, and I was just an absolute wreck. And we did that for 6 weeks, and it just completely burnt me out. I think I had a nervous breakdown, it was a mess. We earned an awful lot of money. Was it worth it? Were we making a difference? No. We didn't make a difference to someone's pocket. For me, it's more than that. And when you understand that, and you come from that place of energy, from flow, from love, everything just comes. It's just phenomenal, the shift that can happen. I'll tell you the time when I had 2 clients, and I was like, oh my God, I've not got enough to coming in. I thought, I've got to change. I've got to stop coming from a place of fear we get all hippie and woo and stop coming from a place of fear, come from a place of gratitude. What have I got? So when I spend money, I don't think, oh my God, I'm spending money. I think, wow, am I not so lucky that I have the money, I have the clients, I have the skills to be able to spend that. I don't go crazy and spend lots of money, but coming from a different place, more flows in. It's just about being in a flow. That's what it's about. And for me, yeah, that's what keeps me going. I just keep doing what I'm doing, and an amazing thing happens. You need to have a vision. You need to know what you want, because otherwise you can't get there.
And for people that, because there are some people that aren't in that space yet, they haven't tipped over the edge, so they're still in that thing about acting from a place of fear and the tangible stuff that they want, and as you say, the fear about I've only got 2 clients, or I've only got 1 job, or I only make 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 a year. What's the tipping point? How do we ever help them find that tipping point?
I think it's when you get to like me losing the weight. When you relate enough pain to something, you think enough is enough. I interviewed a guy called Randy Gage years ago, who's a mega successful, mega wealthy, but again comes now from a place of love. He was sleeping on his friend's floor, eating macaroni and cheese, because that's what before he'd been shot, stabbed. And I said, so Randy, what was it for you? He said, I had an advantage. What do you mean he had an advantage? That sounds crazy. He said, because there was nowhere, I couldn't go further back, I couldn't go further down. The only way was up, as the song says. But it's true. And from that place, he said, I can't lose anything. I mean, you don't want to get to a place like that. I've been there. You don't want to get to a place like that. But you think, what is not right? Driving here in the cab today, I see so many people out. London's a beautiful city. It's great. It's so busy. Hardly anyone smiling. They're all, I'm in it for me. I want to do this. We can't be like that. It's about, don't seek competition, seek collaboration. What can we do to help each other? Because, as I said, the more love you put out there, the more love you get back. It's such a simple thing, but it seems so complicated to get your head around. But it is not. It really isn't. When you come from a place of giving, of love, we're going to hug in a minute. But it's true. It works.
We've hugged already.
We have, but it does. It sounds very hippie, but I teach my clients that, and the difference I've seen in their business, the connections they have. I'm working with a client at the moment who literally, she's put all her savings. She's a chef. She's put everything into her business. She's really panicking. She doesn't pay taxes, this kind of stuff. And she said, just go with it. Believe in what you're doing. Have love for what you do. She's now just got a big investor, and that's just come out of nowhere. And all these amazing things are happening for her. And the project is just phenomenal now. Everything is coming together. You couldn't have written it. If she was coming from, oh my God, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and just bitching and moaning about stuff and complaining, it wouldn't have happened. But because she absolutely loves what she's doing, it's all happening. And I see it time and time again with my clients. So, jolting your thinking, that's what it's about.
Give me 3 words. 3 words do you think describe you? They might be different to the words that April would choose.
Annoying, grumpy. First thing. Fun, passionate, and tenacious, I would say. It's all about fun. It's one of my brand values. Passionate, I love what I'm doing. I get so passionate, I get goosebumps when I'm talking to my clients. I just love it. When a client says to you, you've made such a difference in my life. Again, it's that true definition of success. And tenacious, when you see something, I will go after it, and I will keep doing it. Until it happens. And you need to have that vision, you need to have that drive. You're getting out of bed in the morning to keep pushing, but to keep doing it from a place of love, to keep going for it.
So that link's really neat. I want to talk a bit about, you talked earlier about being in the flow, about what you've got to be in the flow.
Yeah.
So how do you stay in your flow? How do you stay in your zone? Because I guess there are days, right? I'm sure you wake up, you feel a bit crappy.
As April would say, you're a grumpy sod.
Don't fancy it. You're not up for it. Yeah. It's just we all have those days. There'll be people watching this that go, I have more of those days than I want. How do you get into the zone when you're not in it, and when you're in it, what do you do to stay in it?
Right. Well, first off, I talked about when I was massively overweight, drink drugs and stuff like that. I talked to you before we hit record on this, but food plays a massive part. It really does. Now, I'm a vegan. I don't wear the t-shirt and tell everyone to do that, but for me, it has made a massive difference. I've given up coffee. I haven't drunk coffee for over a year now. Because I used to drink stupid amounts of coffee, and I'm like, I was all up and down, and my head was just foggy. I was putting lots of sugars in them. Get to the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Oh, I'm tired. Now I have fruit, and the energy levels are so much better. So when I do wake up. I had bad nights last night in the hotel. It was a particularly bad night, but I would do exercise. I'd go out and you think, oh God, I'm tired. And you think, well, if you're tired and you don't have energy, you're going to go and expend a load more energy. How are you going to get more energy back? But it does. The body it rejuvenates itself. You oxygenate your blood. I'll go out and I'll do a run, or I'll go and do some exercises, whatever it would be, just to get the blood flowing. And then that energy carries me on through. I mean, yesterday was a long day. Up at 6, went to bed at midnight, saw friends last night. I had about a 7-hour drive. But because I've done the workout in the morning, that energy oxygenated me all throughout the day. And I do that, and also it's my time. It's my time out away from all the stuff that's going on at the farm, all of my clients. It's my time. I can't meditate and listen to whales making love and watching a candle flicker. It's not me. But for me, my head's...
Have you got a DVD of that, the whales making love?
No, I couldn't get that one actually. It's just the audio.
I've got a copy.
Okay, cool.
So what I'm hearing is it's about what you put in your body is massively important. What you fuel yourself with. About the looking after your body. So exercise, about creating more energy in the system. And also this bit about the you time, whatever that is for you.
Whatever it is you do, you need downtime. For me, it's just exercising and just you fill your body with endorphins and you feel great. And nothing feels as good as fit does. And it's for me. It's not for everyone. Some people they love the zoning out, whatever. Having a long hot bath, whatever it is. Find what your me time is that makes the difference for you. But for me, it's about good quality food. Food has always been a big thing for me, and just getting that headspace.
As you navigate your day in whatever part of your life, whether it's the farm part or time with April or the kids or your coaching, whatever the bit is, you will, I'm sure, stumble across people that are not on the same mission as you, not on the same agenda, aren't actually that fascinated by extraordinary, are comfortable with it being okay, good, ticking the boxes.
Fine.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that when you need to engage with them or work with them or have dialogue with them?
Well,
what do you do?
You have to be quite brutal sometimes. I mean, some people won't. They don't want to change. I'm not here to completely change the world. I'm not here to go, God, you've got to do this. You've got to become vegan. You've got to da da da. If they're happy in their lot. I mean, an old friend of mine, he's had the same job now since he left college. We went to college together. I've known him for years. So it's probably 28 years now. He's very happy. He's in his music. Now, I could say to him, come on, you want to get, you're a brilliant musician. You could do this. But he's not. He's got a great family. He's got a really solid family. He's happy in his lot. Brilliant. Good for him. If he's happy, that's what matters. And there are some people, I have some clients who also, they're frightened of success and it's pushing them. Not all the clients will make it. But I can tell them, they'll say, I couldn't make a coaching call today. Or whatever the excuses come up, you think, there's a fear of success there and I can help you with that. But you've got to take responsibility. If they're not, then look, I'm here to help if you need it. But I'm not there to push and push and push because that gets annoying. It's got to be the right for them. And when you're in that flow, this is why I talk about my clients with the branding. When you get the brand right, what I do very briefly, I'll look at a client. I'll say, why do people buy from you? Why do people buy from you? What is it about your personality? Because a lot of people, they see themselves and their business as almost separate. But if you're the face of the business, well, then your business is like you. Your energy, your passion, your love, whatever, should zoom out, should be a direct copy almost of you. So when someone looks at the website, they go, oh my God, that's Richard. In fact, I love the energy. And so you attract the right people that you want to work with because the energy is right, the flow is right, and you repel the people you don't. So I don't get to work with people who are naysayers, negative, all that kind of stuff, because they probably see my site and my marketing and my personality online and think, oh, it's a bit too bloody way out for me or whatever. I don't want to work with them. Great, I don't want to work with you because I don't want it to be a hard slog.
Yeah.
Go and find someone who you can work well with. So that's why I say, but you need, it's just about changing the world one step at a time, really.
How do you think that works with people that are in organisations, and you've made a step change now to run your own show?
Yeah.
But when you're in an organisation and part of a team and part of something that has to function and we have to get on with these people, but there's also some difference about, there's not the desire to collaborate, there's the pushback, there's one person wants extraordinary and someone else is comfortable in...
Go on an adventure day and dig holes and stuff like that. Come on, team building. Those kind of things. That don't always work. But let's put a ball through a hoop. Yeah, that'll be bonding. Well, it's also about learning people's behavioural patterns. Is NLP, are they mismatches? Are they, how can you communicate with them? But also, if it gets to the stage where you think, you're really not happy here, well, then you have a choice. You can move. You're not a tree. You can move. So, but yeah, if it's your business, then you need to employ the right people. But you also need to understand. This is what I do with businesses. I'll go into business. I'll talk about helping your staff become the brand advocates. They need to understand. There's a great story, two stories. JFK is walking around NASA and he sees this guy sweeping up. You probably know the story. And he says, "What are you doing then?" It's obviously sweeping up. And the guy says, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." And I just think that guy got it. He got that if the floor wasn't swept, it wasn't clean, then the dust particles could get into the rocket mission or whatever. Another time, when I had this aneurysm, and I'm in hospital, and aneurysm is basically a enlarged artery, and the old boy opposite me, I saw him die. His burst in his chest, and he was dead like that before he even hit the floor. Scared the living daylights out of me. And I remember there was this cleaner, and she's sweeping up. I'm just going, well, I'm going, get the nurses, blah, and she's like, it's not my job. I'm like, oh, I mean, I was bawling. I was so upset. See someone, you're chatting to the next minute, they're dead. And then I said to the doctors later, they came in and they wrapped his body up, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you need to sit down with all the staff here, whether they're bloody cleaning the toilets, making the tea, whatever. They need to understand they are all a cog in the engine. Doesn't matter what they're doing, because if the floor isn't swept, they probably just think, oh, I'm just a cleaner. No, you're not just a cleaner. You are fundamental to this whole machine. And that's what I do. I go into companies and get the staff to understand that, listen, if you say something on social media, or you do something like this, or your thinking is like this, or you, whatever it might be, it affects everything. The old line, you're strong as the weakest link, but it is so true. So what are the brand values? What is the mission statement for the business? Some of the business don't know that, so we help create that. And then educate the staff so they go, I get it. Because you know what? If you don't get it, you won't have a job, because the business will be struggling or whatever. So come together, collaborate, change your thinking, and then bringing people like you in that would know. You need to understand thinking and that. So yeah.
So it's everyone understanding their contribution.
Absolutely, they all have a role to play. Why are you in the job? Ask yourself why you're here. You're not here to just sit at the desk. Jim Rohn, the great late Jim Rohn, said you're paid for the value you bring to the marketplace, not your time. Otherwise, we'll spend in bed all day. But it's your value. What value do you bring? What value do you bring to your clients, the population, the planet? What value do you bring? You're here to serve a purpose. It's finding what that purpose is. It's so important. Don't bitch and moan about it. I love this. People say, oh, bloody society. What society is us.
We are it.
We are it. If you don't like it, what can you do to change it? You can't all do huge things and go out and build whatever huge things, but we can all do our bit. We can all smile more. We can all be pleasant more. Smile is contagious. Another old line. It's corny, but it's true.
It's true. Yeah, I talk about being a mood architect. That one and only bit we have absolute control and choice over, isn't it? It's our attitude, our mood, the way we choose to respond to stuff. But you're right. There's a lot of people that just travel the world moaning about how hard done by, and it's everyone else's fault, and it's the stuff that happens around.
Well, look at what's popular. EastEnders, or Arsenders, as I call it. You're thinking, God, why would you want to watch stuff where people are so unhappy? But, if it makes you happy, then fair enough, So, but it's just choose who you surround yourself with. Flood yourself. I mean, I don't read the newspapers. I don't watch the news. People go, why can you not watch the news? Because I don't want that stuff. There's only, I can affect my family. I can affect the community. There's only so many people I can affect. I can't affect. And it came when I was driving to my kids to school one day, and I'd heard that this young girl had been gang raped. And my 8-year-old son at the time said, "Daddy, what does that mean?" I'm like, at 8:30 in the morning, I don't want to be answering those questions. Why? I don't even want that terminology in your head. So that's it, switch off. I don't want that stuff in. There's nothing I can do about it. All it will do will permeate into me, change my thinking, really upset me. Any crimes against children, anything like that. I really feel it deeply. It's awful. I don't like that. I don't want that in my life. So I don't have it in my life. I want to help the people I can. I can't help people like that. It's just, yes, I'll give to charity. I'll sponsor a child in India. All those kind of things. But I just think cut out a lot of the negative stuff as well. Do you need to have that stuff in your life? No, I don't think you do. You want a relationship with someone moaning all the time, so why do you want to flood yourself with all the negative news, So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do a bit of exercise?
Yeah, well, no, it's just sitting like this, actually. I don't normally sit on the sofa like this. Stretch my knee, but...
We could sit the other way, but then it's just not going to be as user-friendly.
Yeah, I'll just spoon you. I'll do an interview with spooning. I was like, yeah. So I'll stroke your ear, the good questions.
We can keep that bit in.
Just an awkward interview to watch.
Keeping that bit in.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Look, I know this from my world. Well, certainly as a musician and singer, that our jolts we push out, they don't always work. In fact, actually, there are probably more that fail than those that are successful. How do you cope with the jolts you push out that don't give you what you want?
It's going to happen, isn't it? You know, I think I said before. You know, life is an adventure. You know, I've climbed many mountains and fallen many times, and finally you think, but it's not going to go. I'm never going to climb a mountain again. The last time I felt it's hilarious. I was just absolutely covered in what sheep do on a mountain. I was like, for God, you know, I'm like, I'm never going to climb again. Just like, because actually, when I was at the top, it was an amazing experience. So there are amazing experiences, and then sometimes there's bloody awful experiences. It's part of life. Just get over it. Put your big boy pants on, your big girl pants on, and just get on with it, you know. But the thing is, you can't. Again, it's an old. I'm a dictionary of corny sayings, but there is no success without failure. But it's true. People go, and if you ask, this is again, come on, do you like to fail? No. Do you like to learn? Yes. Well, what's the difference? You know, it's true. Just it's learning. What can you learn from? Yeah, I've made up businesses that have cocked up. I've been bankrupt before. You know, relationships that have gone down the pan. Not that I've chopped them up and put them down the pan.
But
yes, that's bad. Yeah, but it's you know, it's you will make mistakes. Of course you do. Everyone does. When you're driving a car, you'll crash. You know, you'll fall off a motorbike. You'll fall off your bike. It happens.
It was a great Seth Godin blog that he put out a few months ago about how we spend a lot of time asking ourselves this question: what if I fail? What if I screw it up? What if I make a mistake? What if I get it wrong? Almost to the point that actually we ask the question so much it paralyses us, and the result is we do nothing.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, actually just answer the question that you're asking: what if I fail? What if I screw it up? The answer is you will.
Yeah.
So get over it. Go. You will. It's going to happen. Yeah. And then you move on to the more useful question that is, you know, once I screwed up, made a mistake, made a mess of it, then what do I do that takes me one step closer to being extraordinary? And suddenly that is, you know, unleashes our thinking, doesn't it? And
it's also asking how. How can I make it better? Rather than why does it always have to be? Stuff like that. Instead of asking why, ask it how. Seth Godin actually wrote a book called The Dip. Because a lot of people think, I've got to keep going, got to keep going, you know, until it's success. Well, actually, you know what? Look at it. Take a step back. That's why it's good to have me times. You can take a step back and go, you know what? That's not working. I'm going to ditch it. I'm going to fail at that. I'm going to stop it. Because it's not serving me. It's not working. And I'm going to start something else. It's not about staying in bed and crying under the pillows. It's about stopping it. It's a brilliant book called The Dip. And it says, it's just, you will get into that dip. So ask yourself, look, if this business isn't working, whatever. Do you think Richard Branson, every business he didn't work? No. Virgin Brides. No, that didn't work. I mean, great name, but things like that. Yeah.
Virgin, wasn't there also a
Virgin Cola? All that kind of stuff.
Virgin, like, makeup shops.
Yeah, loads of stuff, but it didn't work. But he tried it. Brilliant. You've got to try. If you don't try it, you're never going to know. You know, so just get over it. You're going to fail. It's a brilliant learning experience.
My next question, I know you're not going to have one answer for, you're going to want to have loads, and I'm going to tie you down to one answer. What's been your greatest learning, do you think, on the planet so far? Your greatest insight that sits at the heart of everything you do each day?
I've already mentioned it, energy. Okay. And it is a recent learning. It is energy. What am I surrounding myself? What am I putting into my head? What's my thinking pattern? It's energy. It's fundamental. You know, I could give a client the best marketing advice, the best branding advice, build the best website for them, do all the rest of it. But if their energy is not right, it's going to be a hard slog. But it will be a painful experience. They'll meet the wrong people, they'll connect the wrong people, whatever. All about energy. What is your energy? What is your feeling? You know, we start off, oh God, it's a bad day, and then another bad thought comes along. Before you know it, you're in this cycle of crap, and oh dear, it's terrible. No, change it. Thinking. What is it you do? What can you do to change that thinking? We can't all live in a woo-woo land and, hey, let's all hug each other and, you know, knit our yogurt or whatever. Oh, that's true. But yeah, you're going to have off days, but just go, you know, today's an off day. Fair enough. Just acceptance is also one of the biggest things. I think it's a Buddhist thing to learn acceptance, that you are going to have bad days, you are going to fail. But the majority of your time, your energy is right. Do whatever you have to do. Watch this video again, read Richard's book, whatever. Go out. Read a film, watch a film, read a book, whatever you do to learn the ways of changing that energy. Look at what you're putting in your body. If you go home every night and crack open a couple of tins of beer and expecting to be happy. It ain't going to happen. I mean, happiness should be taught in schools because it's fundamental. It's so important. Happiness is not a given. It's a skill. And what can you do to be? What can you focus on to be happy? So the main thing is, energy.
I've noticed with my own, with Mia's education, my own daughter's education, about how the stuff they don't teach. That one fundamental piece is actually when it goes wrong for you, when you're not getting what you want, when you notice that, when something is really tough for you, then what do you do? And I don't think they teach that. When it's shit, what do you do about it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we need help to learn that. I think that because it is a pattern. It is. I don't think it's a default place for many.
But aren't they now in schools going? Oh, we'll do the school games, and it doesn't matter if you didn't win. The thing is, you've got to be in it to win it. It's taking part. It's important, but things you need to be able to strive. You've got to push yourself as well. Don't go, I'm just going to join the race and I'll just walk it. Well, no, you've got to push yourself out there. That's the whole point of being in a race. But if you don't win, try harder next time.
I remember Mia's very first sports day, and we were stood there, and we were on the side going, "Go on, Mia! Go on, Mia!" And just the other parents just stood there quietly, stared at us like we were the weirdos. But the message they got from the teachers was, it's not about the winning, it's the taking part. I used to go, bollocks. It's not, that's not real life. It's about being a contribution and taking part. And there is about some win, whatever that is, personal gain, personal win, energy, good feeling, love, being able to push it out. But they don't teach that. It's just this, just be there.
But I know it's not about that. Yes, we're not always going to win, as we've already talked about. But go and do your best. Do your best. That's all you can do. Yes, it's fight for the. I mean, fight's probably the wrong word, but just go for it. Absolutely go for it. If we'd said, "Oh, let's try and fly to the moon," we'll get halfway. Doesn't matter. No, go for it. Try and do it, because when you have that vision and when you're doing it from a good place, as I said before, amazing things will happen as long as you have that vision. But give it all your energy. Give it and actually go to win. Not step on people. Not push people out of the way. Go from a place of love, and amazing things will happen. Collaborators will come in. Funding people will come in. All this kind of stuff. It will happen when you come from the right place and the energy's right.
I've moved on from coffee because I was taking up all your coffee advice, so I've moved on now. People will see to
mouldy strawberries. No, they're
not mouldy. They're not fresh. Water and
brilliant.
I feel better already. I'm not going to sit with that there. It doesn't look right. Look, one of the questions I ask everyone that sits here is, if you could jolt one person, one industry, one organisation that you think needs a bit of a shove up the backside to make that shift from ordinary to extraordinary, who would you nominate?
Mr. Rupert Murdoch.
Why?
With a large plank of wood around the back of the head, because the media is what keeps people playing small. It keeps people feeling down. It keeps people feeling insecure, nervous, worried. Because you put the negative news out there. I've met this journalist, and he's read stuff when he's been away, and he's read stuff in the reporting the same incident or whatever in the Middle East or whatever, and it's completely different. It's worded over here, so we hate the Arabs, or we hate the terrorists, or whatever. It's take it out of your mind. Stop watching the news. Stop doing the TV. Start putting good stuff out. That's why I set up One Planet in Place. I see it as just a conduit to spread good messages to people who've gone through awful situations and now are doing amazing things in the world. So people listen to the interviews or watch them. I think, you know what? I feel uncomfortable enough to want to do something in my own life to make it's that ripple effect. So really, Rupert Murdoch, just to look at what they're doing, stop manipulating the world and making us feel, I mustn't go out, or I mustn't do this because I might get hit by a terrorist, or whatever. Stop permeating that negative stuff out there. Put more good news out there so we actually think, wow, this actually is an amazing planet. We can do so much. Instead of tearing each other down. I mean, in the UK, there's the tall poppy syndrome. This comes from Australia, I think. Oh, you're successful, you must be an idiot then. Oh, you're driving a Ferrari, then you must be horrible. Well, why? What have they done? They must do incredibly hard to have achieved that, whatever it might be. Let's celebrate success, not put it down. When someone's fallen, oh, brilliant. We love it when someone's crown has fallen.
Yeah,
but why? Let's look at the beauty of the planet, the beauty of people. And we can only start doing that when we remove the media from our lives. We don't need to know about all the stuff out there, because what it does, it breeds anger. Look at stuff on Facebook. Some people I follow and have stopped following, actually, because all they do is post about conspiracy theories. Okay, there might be conspiracy theories, but you know what? Can we do a great deal about it? Apart, we just spread it out, people getting more upset, more angry? No. We can take our lives on board and go, you know what, I can do my bit. I can start making a healthier, more loving family, a more loving community. I can do my bit, and it spreads it out that way. But people just go, oh, it's just horrible. No, it's not. So, Mr. Rupert Murdoch.
The bit we control, Mr. Rupert Murdoch, you heard it here first from
Yeah.
Mr. Simon Jordan. And as you said, the bit we control is, again, we don't have the power, do we, to make Rupert Murdoch stop and make the media
Well,
do
stop
something.
buying his paper.
We can keep influencing. Yeah, we can, all we can do is do our bit.
Stop subscribing to Sky TV, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, that's probably going too far. But, you know, don't let it permeate into your life, you know, because it has an effect on your thinking. You know, Maple and I, the kids, we're not actually wired into TV. We have videos. I love watching films and listening to music, but we don't watch the TV. So we don't have that in life. So when I come here and I find out that this is happening, really, is it? Wow. But you know, it doesn't. When I hear horrible crimes going on, it affects my mood and that kind of stuff, and there's nothing I can do about it. So why have it in my life? I only want the things that, and I believe that the stuff you can affect, you'll be told about. Because of the flow, how the universe works and stuff, you will find about it. You actually can do it. But you know, if someone's been raped or whatever, it's awful. But where are the people that are coming from that have done that crime? What's their thinking? What's their energy? Maybe if they weren't surrounded by negativity, they weren't led by gangs, there was more love around. There was more, you know, guys talking. A friend of mine, Dwayne Klassen, who set up a thing called the Remarkable Man Project in Canada. And he's trying to educate men on, look, you know, we need to be brothers to each other, champions to women, to our children, better people in our community. It's not a religious thing at all. It's just about how can we be better. Again, the late great Jim Rohn, as I said before, he said, don't wish it was easy, wish that you were better. What can we do to be better? How can we give more love? How can we be nicer? How can we smile more? Simple steps. You know?
So maybe in there as kind of wraps up our final question, which is, so for people that are watching going, okay, it's great, I've got great insight into how Simon Jordan lives his life. How do I now take some nuggets and apply them to me right now? So this is a really important bit about these expert interviews, is that I want people, it's a real call to action piece. It's like, as soon as this is finished, what are you going to go and do differently now? Not what you're going to go and ponder for a few months. What are you going to go and do differently? So what are your three, although I did 4 then, I can count, what are your 3 big ticket items?
Well, I'd say look at your energy first of all. Look at this will take a bit of time, but go throughout your day. Okay, so when you start off your day, when you get up in the morning, how are you feeling? You're feeling hungover. That's probably what you drank the night before. And I do drink. We got an organic brewery, of course I drink. But it's funny, you don't wake up with a hangover. It's great. But not really. No, it's pure stuff. It's good. So what you put in your body. Because your mood will be affected by, your energy will be affected by what you put in your body. It's true. You know, if you put diesel in a petrol car, it doesn't work. Vice versa, you know. So look at that first of all, because once you, as April, who's the wellness activist, my partner, she says, you know, when you get back to homeostasis, which is when you're clean, your body's clean, you think clearer. That's when you can make the right decisions. So first off, what are you putting in your body? First of all, what's your energy? Be aware of what. In fact, here's the 30-day challenge. No negativity, no bitching for 30 days. And I bet you can't do it. If you start it, if you say, oh, look at that person over there, oh, that's stupid. Right, you've got to go back to day 1 again. See if you can do that. And then once you start getting it, because 30 days, it will start integrating into your life. Because we could all walk down the street, oh, look at that idiot, what are they doing? Does that help? That's actually coming from someone pretty angry inside, someone who's not very happy with themselves. When you're happy within, you don't need to bitch about the world. So start that first of all, look at what you're doing, and then look at what other things you can do to energize yourself. You know, energy, you cannot survive without energy. The plants cannot grow without energy. So what are you putting in your body, your mindset, and what can you do to change your thinking? And then maybe start writing down what you actually want out of life. What do you want? Because so many people just meander, bumble through life, and you'll just get what stuff comes to you. Whereas if you have a vision, things start happening, things start getting pulled towards you. There's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. Some people call it the red car cell or whatever. You know, women will go out and see a pair of shoes. Oh, great! You've only seen these shoes the first time. You buy them shoes, and suddenly everyone's wearing them. Well, they're always wearing them, but now part of your brain is switched on, and you're aware of it. Same thing with when you have a vision. When you have a vision of something you want, and you go for it, your brain will listen. It's like at a party, you could be really busy, lots of people, and then someone mentions your name. That's your reticular activating system listening into that. It also switches off. I'm getting into NLP now. It's like you're probably not aware of how your feet are feeling in your shoes, but you are now because I've just said it. Or the tongue in your mouth, but you are. But because what it switches off and switches on things that are important. Otherwise, you'd be listening to everything all the time and going mad. So have a vision for what it is you want, and then you'll pick up conversations. And again, when your energy's right, just things start happening. And then when it does start happening, think, okay, yeah, this could be aware of what's going on. Be aware of how you're feeling inside. Biggest thing I learned was when I started running the marathon. I started to learn how my body thinks. I can have some sugar now, and I can feel the reaction. And yeah, I do have the old crappy sweet every now and again. I like the particularly toxic ones, but I don't eat the gelatin ones now. But it's just I know the reaction, so it's learning, and that's really what I'd say. Mindset, the challenge, what you're putting in your body, and then just write some goals. Right, what is it you really, really want? Because if you don't know what you really, really want, then you won't get anything. So you'll just get the same stuff, and you just go for it. Hope that was helpful.
Man.
I'm
going to do the 30-day challenge.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
I
tough.
think I'm going to stumble at the first herbal.
Herbal. That's a herbal.
I'm on the herbal.
You're on the herbal.
Yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
herbal. I think I'm going to stumble on that one because it's easy, isn't it? We have a bit of a view, not necessarily with an intent to be bitchy. We have a view and we share it, or we at least have the conversation in our own head.
I mean, it's not an old thing. There's people's been going for ages, the 30-day challenge, but it is a good thing to do. I mean, I just, I can go and, bloody goats or whatever. Oh, well, they've done this in the morning because I was going to feed the animals. Like, what? But the thing is, it helps when you don't put that negative stuff, you don't listen to, I don't watch soap operas and things like that, because you see, here's the thing, you go on to BBC website and you look at the screenshots for the iPlayer. EastEnders always show someone going, or something like that. I think, that's the advert? For me, I want to watch it? Someone looking really angry, like, why would you want that?
We're going to take that little shot. We're going to have that for this film.
Yeah, but it's true. But it's never sort of like, I mean, I love watching Countryfile because I'm now, we're on the farm. We can't get it over there, though, in France. This is the thing. I have to sort of download it all here and then take it back. But it's just, look at what you're putting in your mind and your body. It's an old thing, but it's so true.
So for people that are watching, where can they find a bit more Simon Jordan?
SimonJordan.com. On Twitter, The Simon Jordan. On Facebook, The Simon Jordan. OnePlanet1Place.com. And on Facebook, One Planet One Place. That's it.
Good to meet you. Should we shake hands or should we have a hug?
Oh, let's have a hug.
Let's have a hug. Let's have a hug. Oh, we're proper standing up.
Oh, yeah.
They're only going to see our bottoms.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Nothing wrong with
No,
that.
it's a total pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you for making the trip.
Thank you for doing, thank you for Jolting. Thank you for writing the book. Again, you're one person, but you've set that ripple effect out. I see, that stone of positivity. Here we go, here's a metaphor for stone of positivity in a lake of negativity. There's a song in there. But there is. But you're doing that, you're seeing the ripples effect. So I'll go away from here and I'll tell more people about your book. I'll post it on Facebook and say, look what we're doing. And someone else will go, oh, hang on, let's have a look. What's this book about? Brilliant. They'll watch this. Great. I like that. And then they'll watch the other interviews, the other expert interviews, and they'll do their bit. And it's just about we can all do our bit. You don't need loads of money. You don't need the right suit, whatever. We can all do our bit. They'll plant the tree. There you go.
You and I need to do a bit of music. We should have done a bit of music.
I play blues harmonica.
Yeah.
I'm a drummer.
We could have a jam session.
Yeah. I could pretend.
Next time.
I'm sorry.
So, thanks for tuning in. And as ever, do something with this. Don't just use it as information. Intellectually, none of it's rocket science. And when it starts to really make a difference and ripple out and become viral is when you take it and you take action. So switch off and take action. Simon Jordan's the man. Thank you very much.
You're the man too. Thank you.
I'll do my best. See you again next time.